Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And this video is going to be about a couple things. For one, I told everyone in the last video I had a big announcement coming, so I'll be announcing that in this. I do want to touch again on the situation with homelessness and the encampments in the city, and just a few other things. The economy, Bird e-scooters. There's a few things going on. So I want to start with Bird e-scooters. I know many of you probably saw a couple months back, I made a post saying the New York Stock Exchange issued a warning to Bird e-scooters, which trades under the moniker of BRDS, that it is in violation of New York Stock Exchange policies if they cannot maintain a $1 share price. And if they don't, they have to do that for 30 consecutive days, they'll be removed from the market. Since then, their stock has dumped down a few, I don't know, at one point I think down to 28 or 29 cents. At one point it was at a high of near $11. But I think right now it's maintaining around 40 cents. That was in June when the New York Stock Exchange gave them their final 6 months. So last month, towards the end of the month, Bird e-scooters, or the company Bird, made a statement that they would be pulling their scooters out of Germany, Sweden, Norway, Middle East, Africa, several U.S. cities. They've laid off a massive section of their employees, and they're going to try to focus on some markets to see what they can do. And then, of course, because that 6 months is coming up, and they're still at 40 cents a share. I think they closed out yesterday at 42 or 43. And they're not, it doesn't look like they're going to hit that $1 requirement. They have to decide, they have to have a shareholder meeting and decide, well, can they do a reverse split on the stocks, or how they're going to handle that. But it's not looking good. So, and there's a lot of executives that have vacated. They've taken off. So that's it on Bird. You know, and I never thought the Bird e-scooters, and I know the city still pushes them, I never thought they were a good fit for Pittsfield. I didn't feel like we had the right weather here for it, you know, because of the seasons we have in winter and fall. I didn't feel like we had the right age demographic for it. And where these scooters did fairly well are like college campuses, condensed cities. People, you know, it's just, we don't have that demographic here. Who's going to take a Bird e-scooter out to BCC? I mean, it doesn't make sense. If we had a downtown school or something like that, it could make more sense. If anything, I mean, Bird as a company also offers electric bicycles. That would have been a way better fit for our community. And maybe an independent company will pop up and offer some kind of rental program like that. I do know that Bird has a low-income program where for low-income families, for $5 a month, you can use their rentals. And I believe it is a subsidized program through the state or the government. So, or maybe through the company. I'm not sure how that works with the franchise owners. But I don't know who's using them here. So again, I never thought it was a good fit. The company is not in a good place, and that 6 month time frame that they were given by the New York Stock Exchange is coming to an end here. They're down to, you know, their last 5 to 6 weeks, something like that. And so they're going to have to make a decision as a company whether they split the stock or how they handle this, or they will no longer be a publicly traded company, or that could be the end of Bird. We're going to find out. So that's it on that. Springside Park. So since a couple videos ago, and I did the video on the encampment, there was a fire up there. Then there was another article, 2 more articles that came out in the Berkshire Eagle that had the mayor again, Aaron Forbush from ServiceNet, Jim McGrath from our Parks and Open Spaces, It was a couple people, I forget everyone in that article, and they talked about how, they're doing everything they can. Again, that they regularly visit with the people that are they have people that go out onto the streets and ask people what they need, how can they help. So I went up to the encampment at Springside Park again yesterday with 2 city councilors this time to speak to the individuals there. And we asked them right away, has anyone been up here to see you? And they laughed and said, of course not. And it was sad that one of the guys there said, they don't care about us. They don't care if we live or die in here. They could care less. That was sad to hear that. We asked them if there was anything they needed. One of the individuals there gave me a list of things that they could use coming into the winter months. One of the counselors mentioned possibly talking to the mayor or someone to see if we could get a porta potty up there for them, because if the city is going to allow that encampment to be there and not find sheltering for these people, which is insane to me, but for the safety of everyone and the cleanliness of the park, put a porta potty in there, really, because there's a brook there that they do laundry in. I have a feeling they do other things in there. And again, that article mentioned, the Eagle article mentioned that I think it was Jim McGrath who said how clean the park was, or maybe it was the mayor, one of them. We went through there, again, trash everywhere, needles everywhere. Here's some pictures. So, and I'm not saying the needles are part of that encampment. They weren't near that encampment, but they're out in spots open where people and their animals, people bring their dogs up there and kids play in there. Very sad to see the condition of the park. And again, propane tanks everywhere. And that's a huge, massive fire issue for that park. And some people say, I've had people message me, I don't know what you're talking about. People have lived in Springside Park forever. Listen, I grew up around there. I spent a lot of time in that park as a kid. And yes, we would see every now and then, certain seasons, people camping or living in there. Nothing like what is there now. There's structures being built. There's a greenhouse being built. There's propane tanks, bicycles, baby strollers, fencing, solar panels, refrigerators, clotheslines up with. I've never seen anything like this in my life in there, ever. And I just feel like we're failing everybody. We're failing the taxpayers. We're failing the people who want to use that as a park. And we're failing the people that are living under those conditions. That's not right. It's not right. None of that can be happening. Somewhere we're not offering the correct services. And it's an encampment of about 4 or 5 people. I just can't imagine that we can't get them some kind of help and assistance to get them out of there and put a roof over their head so they can get up in the morning like a normal person and take a shower and cook themselves breakfast. I just don't understand. So, ServiceNet has not been up there, though. And I was glad to have 2 counselors with me on this one. I won't mention their names. I'm sure they will, maybe even in the comments or on a post. But I had 2 city councilors with me who could verify all of this. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. So I'll be talking more on that. And again, I'm going to get some things for them that they asked that they could use I wanted to make sure they were okay. So my big announcement. So I know a lot of people, and I've talked about running for mayor in the past. I've talked about potentially running for city council, and I've talked about growing It's Pittsfield Tonight. And I've put a lot of thought into this decision because I've mentioned all those things. And I've never been 100% on any of them until the past few weeks. So I'm overwhelmed and flattered beyond belief with the amount of people that asked me to run for mayor. Really. I mean, I can't tell you how that could make somebody feel. It's amazing. But I've made the decision to not run for mayor or not run for the city council. And the reason why, and this is, I think, is great news and exciting news, is It's Pittsfield Tonight is expanding greatly. It's Pittsfield Tonight will be much more than just this. It's Pittsfield Tonight will be a streaming channel with tons of shows, tons of different content, and the great part is now with a downtown Pittsfield location. So that's already in place. I'm working on building the studio out, getting everything done, and then having to close this down and move it all to the new location and build the new sets and new live sets. There'll be a morning show, there'll be an evening show, there'll be news segments, there'll be more interviews, there'll be more of all that. And this will allow me, I feel like growing the platform that way will allow me to do more good in the community, will provide a voice and a channel for so many organizations and so many businesses and people that I've been able to help in the past. Well, now that door goes wide open. So I'm really excited about that. I mean, really excited about that. And it was a tough decision for me because I'm passionate about Pittsfield. And, I get what we're going to see in this next election. I think a lot of people know that. So this year we're coming into a mayoral election, and I think your candidates are going to be establishment candidates, people who've been in the game a long time. And that's that. I can tell you what the rumors are. I don't want to speak for anybody, but the rumors are it's going to be our at-large city councilor and city council president, Peter Marchetti, and our former Ward 6 city councilor and former vice president of the city council, John Kroll. Now, neither one of them have confirmed that with me, so I'm not saying that as fact. I'm just saying what I think it's going to be. And I think that's what we're going to see. And there's possible a third candidate could pop up also. Who knows? But I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see most likely Linda Tyre will be leaving after 2 terms as mayor, which is 8 years, and still puts her up there as one of the longest serving mayors in the city. And I would be willing to bet she endorses and supports Peter Marchetti. But for me, the whole political thing is so vicious and so nasty and so guarded. They don't like outsiders speaking up. They don't like any of that. And I can tell you that just from what I've went through on this platform, what I've had to deal with. And I can only imagine how they would come at me if I ran for office. And I just don't know if I'm the right person for that. I came up the tough way in life. And usually when people talk to me the way some of these people have, the outcome would be a lot different. So I don't know if I'm the right person for it. And I didn't want to risk losing this platform. This was so much work to build this. And it's done a lot of good in the community. And having it as a platform to interview political candidates and get all that information out there to people, it's done a lot of good. And to risk losing that, because if I used it to run for mayor and I lost, it would be the end of It's Pittsfield Tonight. I just couldn't see how you could go back. So I think this is going to be a huge, great, exciting thing, and I'm super excited about it. I'm excited about having a downtown Pittsfield location. I'm excited about all those things. So believe me, it's going to be really good, and it will allow me to continue, again, doing more support for business owners, more support for local causes, local charities, more political interviews. I'll be set up to host some debates for the candidates who are willing to come on, and I know there's a few that already are. I don't know if I'm going to be endorsing or supporting anybody or not. I have to really look at what their platforms are and what they're doing, but if I did make an endorsement, and I don't think I will, and I know I've said this before and changed my mind on that, but it would be right before the election, like the Berkshire Eagle does. They do their picks usually about a week before voting, sometimes later than that, sometimes days before voting. I think it's more important to give all the candidates a fair opportunity and a fair platform to speak, which I feel I always have done. Anyway, so that is the big news. I'm excited. I hope all of you will be excited. There'll be some great content coming up. And like I said, it'll be a streaming channel. It's Pittsfield Tonight will be a channel with lots of shows on it. It will not be just this. And I have other people involved. There'll be shows that I'm not hosting. There'll be all sorts of things involved. And high school athlete of the week segments. I mean, all sorts of things that we've got lined up. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm excited about moving forward. I'm excited that I'm not going to have to deal with the attacks from these people to protect their seats of power or whatever it is, that whatever makes it so vicious. And they are. I look at it this way. There's people who, like I came from the entertainment industry. I was in the music side of industry. My entire life I made money in music. And when I wasn't touring or playing with a band, I was selling musical equipment. I was working for manufacturing companies, or I worked for a Guitar Center in retail as a manager. But my entire life was music. And being on a stage and being in front of a camera and all that came easy to me. It really did. I enjoy it. And it seems like some people who get into politics, there are people that could never make it in music or acting or theater or whatever, but they're still looking for that attention. So they go into politics for this thing. I don't know. It takes a little bit of ego and a little bit of narcissism and a little bit of all that. And to be in political office and to sell yourself as the product like that. And that's just, it's not me. And I know I thought I could do it, but I had to be honest with everyone. And like I said, when I realized I was risking losing this entire platform, which has done a lot of good things in the community, I don't want to give that up. And I think we can grow this to something absolutely spectacularly amazing. So that is it for now. In the next couple weeks, I'll be setting up the new location and hoping to go live with it by December 1st. So I'm super excited about all that, and I will keep everyone updated and informed. So, that's it. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll catch you all in the next few days.